Hollywood, a name that instantly paints images of flashing lights, glamorous movie premieres, and celebrities walking the red carpet in dazzling designer gowns. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Behind the perfectly staged interviews, the million-dollar smiles, and the glimmering fame, there exists another Hollywood, a darker Hollywood, a place where fame comes with a price, where whispers of secret societies, occult symbolism, and disturbing rituals have lingered for decades. And it's not just wild conspiracy theories. Time and time again, the lives, and sometimes the deaths, of some of the world's most famous stars reveal eerie patterns that can't be ignored. Why do so many celebrities suddenly spiral out of control? Why do their careers sometimes end in tragedy right when they're at the top? And why are so many of them connected to strange symbols, cryptic messages, or powerful organizations hiding in plain sight? Today, we're peeling back the Hollywood curtain. We're going to uncover the 7 shocking Hollywood stars with dark connections. Stories so bizarre and unsettling that they'll make you question everything you thought you knew about the entertainment industry. This isn't about gossip. This isn't about rumors. This is about connecting the dots and seeing the darker side of fame that no one dares to talk about. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you may never look at your favorite celebrities the same way again. Star number 1, Marilyn Monroe. The star who knew too much. Let's begin with the original Hollywood icon, Marilyn Monroe. To the world, she was the definition of glamour. The platinum blonde hair, the red lips, the playful smile. She was Hollywood's it girl, adored by millions, the woman every man wanted and every woman envied. But behind that carefully crafted image was a life filled with shadows. Marilyn Monroe's story is not just about beauty and fame. It's about secrets, dangerous secrets, secrets that many believe cost her life. The mystery of her death on August 5, 1962, the world woke up to shocking news. Marilyn Monroe was dead at just 36 years old. The official cause? A drug overdose. But almost immediately, questions began to swirl. Why did the reports keep changing? Why were key details of the scene inconsistent? And why did so many people close to her claim she was silenced? Some investigators believe Marilyn Monroe didn't simply overdose. They argue that she knew too much about the powerful men in her life, including U.S. President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy. She was romantically linked to both men, and according to rumors, she may have known state secrets she was never supposed to hear. The Diary of Secrets, one of the most chilling claims about Monroe's final days, is the existence of a mysterious diary. People close to her have alleged that Marilyn kept a personal notebook filled with sensitive information, including details about political meetings, nuclear discussions, and other high-level secrets. If that diary really existed, imagine the danger it posed. A Hollywood star, adored worldwide, with the power to expose the deepest secrets of America's most powerful men. Occult and symbolism theories, but Monroe's story doesn't stop at politics. Some researchers have pointed out her strange involvement with certain psychologists and mind control experiments during her early career. She was reportedly placed under the care of psychiatrists who used unusual and highly experimental methods. Some even suggest that she was a victim of MK-Ultra-style programming, a government program rumored to use mind control on select individuals. While these claims remain controversial, it adds to the chilling aura around her life. Was Marilyn Monroe simply a Hollywood actress, or was she being manipulated by forces much bigger than herself? The sacrifice theory, perhaps the most haunting theory, is that Marilyn Monroe's death wasn't accidental, but orchestrated. To some, her passing was a ritual sacrifice, a warning to others in Hollywood. Don't get too close to the truth. Don't reveal the secrets. Her tragic story became a blueprint for countless stars after her. Young, bright, full of potential, only to die suddenly under mysterious circumstances. Even today, decades later, Marilyn Monroe remains a symbol not just of beauty, but of Hollywood's darkest secrets. And her story raises the first chilling question of this video. If one of the most beloved actresses in history could be silenced so easily, what does that say about the powers lurking behind Hollywood's golden mask? Star number 2, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. The Illuminati allegations. When you think of Hollywood power couples, one name instantly rises above the rest: Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Individually, they are icons. Together, they are an empire. With billions in combined wealth, sold-out stadiums, and influence stretching from music to fashion to politics, they aren't just celebrities. They are cultural architects. But with great power comes great suspicion. For over a decade, Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been at the very center of one of the most infamous conspiracy theories of all time: the idea that they are connected to or even leading the Illuminati. The symbolism everywhere. Let's start with what everyone has seen: the symbols. Jay-Z has long been known for flashing his signature hand sign, forming a triangle with his fingers, often held above his head. To fans, it's the rock symbol, a nod to his Rockefeller Records label. But to conspiracy researchers, it's something far more sinister: the Eye of Providence. You've seen it before, a triangle with a single eye inside, famously printed on the back of the U.S. dollar bill. To some, it represents the Illuminati, a secretive elite group rumored to control governments, banks, and yes, even Hollywood. And then there's Beyoncé. From her music videos to her Super Bowl halftime show, she has repeatedly been accused of using occult imagery. One of her most controversial performances included dancers forming giant triangles and visuals filled with flames and dark undertones. Coincidence? Or coded messages hidden in plain sight? The Sasha Fierce persona. Things get even stranger when you look at Beyoncé's own words. Years ago, she revealed that when she performs, she takes on a different personality, an alter ego she named Sasha Fierce. In her own interviews, Beyoncé admitted that Sasha Fierce takes over during performances, giving her confidence and unleashing a side of her she doesn't normally show. To some, this is nothing more than stagecraft, a way for a performer to step into character. But to others, it sounded eerily similar to spiritual possession. Was Beyoncé hinting that her fame and stage power came from something beyond herself? The music videos that fuel the fire, it doesn't stop there. Both Jay-Z and Beyoncé have filled their music videos with visuals that critics claim are laced with occult and Illuminati references. Jay-Z's On to the Next One is packed with skulls, goat heads, and eerie flashes of symbolism tied to secret societies. Beyoncé's Formation and Run the World Girls sparked debate for their use of pyramids, horns, and religious undertones. Of course, defenders argue these are just artistic choices. After all, artists have used bold imagery for centuries. But skeptics point out one thing: these symbols appear too consistently, too deliberately to be meaningless. Power beyond music. Another reason the Illuminati rumors refuse to die is the sheer level of power Jay-Z and Beyoncé wield. Unlike most celebrities, they are not just artists, they are moguls. They own streaming platforms, fashion lines, and have friends in the highest levels of politics. Beyoncé performed at a presidential inauguration. Jay-Z has openly met with billionaires, CEOs, and world leaders. Their influence extends far beyond entertainment. For conspiracy believers, this isn't just success. It's evidence of their alleged membership in an elite, world-controlling organization. The Queen Bey ritual theory. One of the wildest claims surrounding Beyoncé is that some of her concerts resemble ritual ceremonies. Look closely at her shows, critics say, and you'll see fire, pyramids, chanting crowds, and occult poses that mirror ancient rituals. To the average viewer, it's just entertainment. But to those who study symbolism, it's a carefully crafted stage for mass influence. Some even claim that the collective energy of her fans, thousands of people chanting and screaming at once, is being harnessed in ways most people don't even understand. Jay-Z's lyrics. Jay-Z himself has added fuel to the fire through his lyrics. In his song, Devils, he openly raps about his fascination with dark themes, mentioning the devil and temptation. Across multiple tracks, he references secret societies, Freemasonry, and hidden knowledge. Are these just clever metaphors? Or subtle confessions hidden in plain sight? The final question now: let's be clear. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have repeatedly denied being part of the Illuminati. To them, it's just a ridiculous rumor that refuses to die. But here's the chilling part: rumors don't just come from nowhere. And when you see the consistency of the symbols, the strange alter egos, the occult visuals, and the unimaginable power they've achieved, you can't help but wonder: is this just a case of artists pushing boundaries with edgy imagery? Or is it something far darker? Proof that the Illuminati is alive, well, and using Hollywood's biggest stars to spread its influence across the world. Star number 3, Tom Cruise. Hollywood's Scientology powerhouse. When you think of Tom Cruise, one image immediately comes to mind: Hollywood's ultimate action hero. Whether he's hanging off the side of an airplane in Mission Impossible, racing through the skies in Top Gun, or playing the charming leading man, Tom Cruise has built a career that's larger than life. But while the world knows him for his dazzling smile and death-defying stunts, behind the scenes, Tom Cruise is tied to one of the most controversial and secretive organizations in the world, the Church of Scientology. And his connection to it is not just casual. He is their most famous and most powerful celebrity member. The rise of Cruise and Scientology. Tom Cruise joined Scientology in the late 1980s, introduced by his then-wife, actress Mimi Rogers. At first, it seemed harmless, just another celebrity exploring alternative beliefs. But as his fame skyrocketed, so did his involvement. By the early 2000s, Cruise wasn't just a member, he was the face of Scientology. He appeared in promotional videos praising the church. He spoke publicly about how Scientology had saved his life. And behind the scenes, reports suggest he became incredibly close to Scientology's leader, David Miscavige. Some insiders even claimed Cruise was treated like royalty within the church, provided with luxury, servants, and special privileges that few others ever received. What is Scientology, really? For those unfamiliar, Scientology was founded in the 1950s by science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard. On the surface, it presents itself as a self-help movement, a religion that teaches people how to clear their minds of trauma and live at their fullest potential. But critics have long accused it of being something much darker. Former members describe it as a cult-like organization that controls its followers through intimidation, secrecy, and manipulation. They speak of auditing sessions, intense interrogations where members reveal their deepest secrets, which are then allegedly used against them. They talk about extreme punishments, financial exploitation, and being cut off from family members who leave the church. And at the center of it all sits Tom Cruise, smiling for the cameras. The viral interview in 2008, a video of Tom Cruise leaked online, and it shocked the world. In the footage, Cruise passionately praises Scientology, claiming it's the only path to true freedom. His words are fast, intense, almost unsettling. At one point, he declares that Scientologists are the only people who can truly help after an accident, and that they alone have the answers for humanity. The video went viral, but not in the way he intended. For many viewers, it wasn't inspiring. It was chilling. Suddenly, people began to see Cruise not as just a movie star, but as a devoted preacher of a secretive, controlling belief system. Hollywood and recruitment. Here's where the story gets darker. According to former Scientologists, Cruise wasn't just a follower, he was a recruiter. Insiders claim that the church used his fame to lure in new celebrities, hoping to expand their influence in Hollywood. It worked. Over the years, several stars have dabbled in Scientology, but none have represented it as fiercely or as publicly as Cruise. Some reports even suggest that entire dating searches were organized by the church to find Cruise his next partner, auditioning young actresses under the guise of casting calls. The cost of his devotion. But here's the chilling part. Tom Cruise's devotion to Scientology seems to have come at a personal cost. His marriages, first to Nicole Kidman, then to Katie Holmes, ended in controversy, with many pointing fingers at Scientology's influence. Nicole Kidman was reportedly labeled a suppressive person by the church, meaning she was considered an enemy. Her relationship with her adopted children from Cruise became strained after she left. Katie Holmes, meanwhile, shocked the world when she divorced Cruise in 2012. Rumors swirled that she was desperate to protect her daughter, Suri, from being fully indoctrinated into the church. To this day, Cruise is rarely seen with Suri, and many believe Scientology is the reason why. Scientology's power through Cruise. What makes this so shocking is the sheer power Scientology holds through Tom Cruise. He is not just their poster boy. He is their weapon. His global fame legitimizes them. His wealth funds them. His influence draws attention to them. And every time Cruise smiles at a premiere, every time he wows the world with another jaw-dropping stunt, critics argue it serves as a glittering mask, hiding the darker reality of the church he represents. The unanswered question: so what's the truth? Is Tom Cruise simply a man who found comfort in an alternative religion? Or is he the centerpiece of one of the most controlling and secretive organizations in Hollywood? An organization accused of tearing families apart, silencing its critics, and hiding its darkest truths behind movie star charm. Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. When it comes to Hollywood's dark connections, Tom Cruise's relationship with Scientology stands as one of the most powerful and one of the most unsettling examples in the industry. Star number 4: Madonna. The queen of occult symbolism when it comes to pushing boundaries. No star has shocked the world quite like Madonna. Since the 1980s, she's been called the Queen of Pop, but for just as long, she's also been accused of something much darker. Using occult imagery, religious blasphemy, and even ritual symbolism in her performances. To her fans, it's just art, bold, controversial, and designed to provoke. But to others, Madonna isn't just performing. She's revealing something hidden, something that points to a long history of Hollywood's obsession with the occult. The early years of controversy from the very start of her career, Madonna seemed determined to blur the line between entertainment and sacrilege. In 1989, her music video for Like a Prayer shocked the world. Burning crosses, church imagery mixed with sexual themes, Madonna kissing a saint-like figure. The Vatican condemned it. Religious groups protested. Pepsi even canceled a multi-million-dollar sponsorship deal with her. But here's the strange part. Madonna didn't back down. Instead, she leaned into the controversy. For some, it was a marketing strategy. For others, it was a statement of rebellion. But to critics who study occult symbolism, it was the beginning of a career-long pattern. Madonna using dark spiritual imagery to captivate and perhaps influence millions. The rise of the occult queen. As her career progressed, Madonna's performances only became more daring. At concerts, she incorporated imagery of demons, mock crucifixions, and ritualistic choreography. She dressed as religious figures, blended holy symbols with sexual undertones, and surrounded herself with dancers in horned costumes. Over and over again, her shows looked less like concerts and more like ceremonies. Some researchers even argue that Madonna's concerts mirror ancient ritual structures, beginning with an invocation, building to a climax filled with fire, blood, or symbolic sacrifice, and ending with a cathartic release. Coincidence? Or something intentional? Kabbalah and mysticism. In the early 2000s, Madonna's connection to mysticism deepened publicly when she embraced the Kabbalah, a form of Jewish mysticism that explores hidden spiritual knowledge. She was often photographed wearing the signature red string bracelet tied to Kabbalah practices. She donated millions to Kabbalah centers around the world. On the surface, it seemed like a celebrity simply finding spiritual fulfillment. But conspiracy theorists were quick to point out, Kabbalah is often associated with esoteric teachings, knowledge reserved for the initiated, hidden from the masses. In Madonna's hands, it seemed less like private faith, and more like ritual performance woven into pop culture. Super Bowl ritual? Perhaps the most infamous example of Madonna's alleged occult ties came in 2012, when she headlined the Super Bowl halftime show, one of the biggest stages in the world. Millions watched as Madonna entered the stadium dressed like a goddess, carried on a golden throne by an army of men. Her outfit and choreography drew immediate comparisons to ancient Mesopotamian and Egyptian deities. The stage was covered in Illuminati-style symbolism, triangles, eyes, and fire. To the casual viewer, it was dazzling. But to others, it looked like a massive ritual disguised as entertainment. One critic described it bluntly: Madonna didn't just perform at the Super Bowl. She conducted a ceremony. The dark imagery that never ends even into her later career, Madonna has never abandoned the imagery that made her infamous. At one performance, she simulated a satanic sacrifice with dancers dressed as horned demons. In another, she staged her own mock execution. In interviews, she casually referenced the power of channeling energy through performance, words that sound harmless to some, but eerily intentional to others. Her music videos, too, are filled with cryptic imagery. Eyes, serpents, blood, and symbols tied to secret societies. Over and over again, she returns to the same themes: religion, sex, death, and rebirth, all wrapped in layers of symbolism that critics argue are unmistakably occult. The cultural impact, but here's the chilling part. Madonna is not just a celebrity. She's a cultural architect. For decades, she has influenced fashion, music, and even politics. Younger stars like Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, and even Beyoncé have adopted similar occult imagery, leading many to argue that Madonna didn't just use symbolism herself, but opened the floodgates for an entire generation of artists to do the same. Was that her true role in Hollywood? To normalize occult themes for the masses, hiding them beneath catchy beats and dazzling choreography? The final question to this day: Madonna insists her work is just art, just performance, just provocation. But the question remains, how many times can a star use the same occult imagery over and over again before it stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like a message? For her fans, she's the queen of pop. For her critics, she's the queen of occult symbolism. And whichever you believe, one thing is certain. Madonna's career proves that in Hollywood, fame and darkness often walk hand in hand. Star number 5, Kanye West. The industry's rebel prophet. Few celebrities have caused as much controversy and sparked as many conspiracy theories as Kanye West. To some, he's a musical genius, a visionary artist who reshaped hip-hop and fashion. To others, he's a troubled figure, constantly spiraling between brilliance and chaos. But beneath the headlines, one thing is certain. Kanye West has spent years dropping cryptic clues, disturbing confessions, and shocking statements about Hollywood's darker side. And unlike most celebrities, Kanye doesn't just play along with the system. He calls it out, even if it costs him everything. The early confessions: Kanye West's warnings about Hollywood didn't start recently. They go back nearly 2 decades. In 2005, on his breakout album, he hinted at selling his soul for fame. The lyrics weren't hidden in metaphors. They were blunt, unapologetic, and haunting. Some dismissed it as just art. But over time, Kanye began to say the same things off the mic in interviews and rants. He claimed that Hollywood was filled with people willing to sell their souls. He suggested the music industry was controlled by dark forces. And again, he spoke of the price of fame, a price he admitted he himself had paid. The Taylor Swift incident, a turning point in 2009, Kanye stormed the stage at the MTV Video Music Awards, interrupting Taylor Swift's acceptance speech. The moment turned him into a villain overnight. But here's the strange part. Some researchers argue that this was no random outburst. They believe Kanye's public meltdown marked the beginning of his rebellion against the system. From that moment on, his career seemed to follow a pattern. Success followed by sabotage, praise followed by punishment. And time after time, Kanye claimed he was being silenced. The hospitalization and reprogramming in 2016, Kanye West was suddenly hospitalized after a bizarre onstage rant, where he spoke about powerful figures in the music industry. Officially, the story was that he suffered from exhaustion and mental health issues. But Kanye himself later hinted at something darker. He suggested he was reprogrammed. He said he was drugged against his will. And he hinted that the industry didn't like when he spoke the truth. These statements fueled theories that Kanye was being punished for stepping out of line, for exposing Hollywood's secrets instead of playing along. The sacrifice allegations, perhaps the most chilling part of Kanye's story, came during interviews in recent years, when he openly spoke about Hollywood sacrifices. He claimed that stars close to him were taken away as part of the price of fame. He pointed to his own mother, Donda West, whose tragic death followed complications from plastic surgery. For Kanye, this wasn't just bad luck. He suggested her death was a sacrifice, part of the industry's dark deal to elevate him to greater fame. It was a shocking statement, one that many dismissed as grief or paranoia. But for conspiracy theorists, it was confirmation of what they'd been saying for years, that Hollywood runs on blood sacrifices, and Kanye had seen it firsthand. The masks and symbolism Kanye's later years only added to the mystery. He began appearing in public wearing full-face masks, often with designs that critics said looked eerie and ritualistic. His fashion shows included apocalyptic themes, dark chants, and imagery tied to occult symbolism. Some saw it as art. Others saw it as Kanye's way of revealing the hidden forces behind the industry by mirroring their imagery back at them. Speaking out and paying the price. The more Kanye spoke out, the more he seemed to lose. He lost massive brand deals worth billions. He was banned from social media platforms. He was portrayed by the press as crazy, dangerous, and unhinged. Yet through it all, he doubled down. He kept speaking about Hollywood's control, about contracts written in blood, about celebrities being silenced or destroyed if they didn't obey. The final question: so who is Kanye West? Really? Is he a broken star, spiraling into delusion? A cautionary tale of fame gone wrong? Or is he Hollywood's ultimate whistleblower, the rebel prophet warning us about the industry's darkest truths? Whatever the case, one thing is undeniable. Kanye West is not afraid to say what other stars won't. And whether you see him as a genius, a madman, or a truth-teller, his story adds another chilling layer to the reality of Hollywood's dark connections. Star number 6, Angelina Jolie. The leaked dark ritual video. When you hear the name Angelina Jolie, what comes to mind? Hollywood royalty, an award-winning actress, a humanitarian, known for her charity work and her role as a United Nations ambassador. To the public, she's the perfect blend of beauty, talent, and compassion. But beneath that glamorous image lies one of the strangest and most disturbing controversies in Hollywood history. Because years ago, a video surfaced. A video that allegedly showed Angelina Jolie describing dark, ritualistic practices that shocked even her most loyal fans. The leaked video, the footage is grainy, whispered about more than it's actually seen. In the video, Angelina appears to be casually describing experiences that sound more like a secret initiation than a Hollywood party. She talks about symbols being carved into bodies, about rituals that involve blood and pain. She laughs nervously, as if she's sharing something only insiders would ever understand. For many, this video was the smoking gun, evidence that one of Hollywood's biggest stars had been exposed to, or directly involved in, occult ceremonies. Was it just a joke taken out of context? Or a rare glimpse into the shadowy world behind the red carpet? A life surrounded by dark roles even without the video? Angelina Jolie has always carried an aura of mystery. Her early career was filled with roles that leaned toward the dark and the gothic. She played troubled characters, witches, and femme fatale. Her breakout role as Maleficent, Disney's iconic dark fairy, only solidified her reputation as Hollywood's queen of the mysterious and sinister. Over and over again, her characters reflected themes of transformation, pain, and hidden power. Coincidence? Or art imitating life? The blood vials. One of the most infamous moments in Jolie's personal life came during her marriage to actor Billy Bob Thornton. The two were inseparable, often photographed in public sharing wild displays of affection. But what really shocked the world was their bizarre ritual. Each wore a small vial of the other's blood around their neck. To the tabloids, it was just another Hollywood stunt, eccentric, strange, but harmless. To others, it was proof of something darker. Blood rituals, worn proudly as jewelry, a public hint at the private practices taking place behind closed doors. The secret Hollywood parties. Multiple insiders have hinted that Angelina was, and perhaps still is, a regular at secret Hollywood gatherings that are far from the glamorous galas we see in magazines. These aren't cocktail parties with champagne and small talk. They are whispered about as ritualistic gatherings, filled with strange costumes, masks, and ceremonies that would shock the average person. The leaked video only added fuel to these rumors. Was Angelina Jolie casually describing the very same parties others had only hinted at? Dual public image. What makes Jolie's story especially fascinating is the contrast. On one hand, she's the humanitarian, adopting children from across the world, donating millions to charity, serving as a UN ambassador, and speaking about human rights. On the other, she's the actress with a history of dark imagery, blood rituals, leaked videos, and performances drenched in symbolism. It's almost as if she lives in two worlds, one of light and one of shadow. The occult archetype. Some researchers argue that Jolie's entire career mirrors the archetype of the occult priestess, a figure who bridges the gap between the ordinary world and the hidden realms of power. Her adoption of children from multiple countries, her obsession with roles of transformation, her interest in tattoos filled with cryptic symbols. All of it paints a picture that fits neatly into the narrative of a star deeply tied to ancient and secret traditions. The final question: so what do we make of Angelina Jolie? Is she simply an eccentric star with a flair for the dramatic? Was the leaked video just a misunderstood conversation between friends? Or was it something far more sinister? An accidental window into the hidden rituals of Hollywood's elite? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is undeniable. Jolie's life and career are a perfect example of how Hollywood mixes light and darkness, charity and secrecy, fame and mystery. And her story leaves us with a haunting thought. If this is what slips through the cracks, what else is happening in Hollywood that we never get to see? Star number 7, Heath Ledger. The Joker's curse. Few Hollywood deaths shook the world quite like the passing of Heath Ledger. Heath wasn't just another actor. He was a rising star, a talent so undeniable that many believed he was destined to become one of the greatest of his generation. And in 2008, when he stepped into the role of the Joker in The Dark Knight, audiences witnessed a transformation unlike anything seen before. Ledger's Joker was terrifying, magnetic, and unforgettable. His performance redefined the character and cemented his place in cinematic history. But behind the applause and the awards lurked a tragedy, because Heath Ledger never got to see the full impact of his work. Just months before the film's release, Ledger was found dead in his apartment, the victim of an overdose of prescription medications. He was only 28 years old, and ever since, whispers of a Joker curse have haunted his legacy. The immersion into madness. Part of what made Heath Ledger's Joker so powerful was his total immersion in the role. According to friends and colleagues, Ledger locked himself away for weeks, living in isolation as he studied the Joker's madness. He kept a diary filled with disturbing images, violent phrases, and twisted thoughts. A journal that looked less like an actor's notes and more like the ramblings of a deranged mind. He experimented with voices, facial expressions, and mannerisms until he became the character entirely. But the deeper he went into the Joker's psyche, the darker his own mind seemed to grow. The strange circumstances of his death. The official story is clear. Heath Ledger died from an accidental overdose of sleeping pills, anti-anxiety medication, and painkillers. But the details raise unsettling questions. Why was such a dangerous cocktail of drugs prescribed to a 28-year-old at the height of his career? Why were multiple doctors writing prescriptions without coordination? And why did so many people close to Ledger say he had been struggling with exhaustion, paranoia, and insomnia long before his tragic end? Some argue that the demands of Hollywood pushed him to the edge. Others believe his death wasn't an accident at all, but the result of something much darker. The Joker's curse. Ledger's death fueled the idea of the Joker curse, a superstition that the role itself carries a dark energy. Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker decades earlier, was reportedly shaken by Ledger's death, allegedly saying, "I warned him." Even Jared Leto and Joaquin Phoenix, who later played the character, spoke about the heavy psychological toll it took. Phoenix admitted that he lost massive amounts of weight and struggled mentally during filming. Was the Joker just a role? Or was it something more, a kind of archetype that draws darkness into the lives of those who embody it? Occult symbolism in The Dark Knight. Some researchers go even further, pointing to the occult symbolism woven into The Dark Knight. The Joker represents chaos, destruction, and the collapse of order. He burns money, mocks morality, and thrives on fear. In many ways, he mirrors the archetype of a trickster demon, a figure tied to ancient mythology and occult traditions. If Ledger truly immersed himself in this role, was he simply acting, or channeling something darker than he realized? The final performance, when Heath Ledger won a posthumous Academy Award for his role as the Joker, Hollywood celebrated him as a genius taken too soon. But behind the applause lingered unease. Had Ledger given so much of himself to the Joker that he could never escape the character's grip? Or did the industry itself, the pressure, the drugs, the demands of fame, push him into an early grave? The unsettling legacy to this day, fans continue to debate Heath Ledger's death. Some say it was a tragic accident. Some call it the cost of artistic brilliance. And others whisper that it was no accident at all, but the ultimate example of Hollywood's dark connections swallowing another young star. Whatever the truth may be, Heath Ledger's story serves as a haunting reminder. In Hollywood, the line between art and reality is often blurred, and sometimes, crossing that line can cost you your life. So there you have it, 7 Hollywood stars with shocking and disturbing connections. From Marilyn Monroe's mysterious death, to Jay-Z and Beyoncé's endless Illuminati rumors, from Tom Cruise's devotion to Scientology, to Madonna's ritual-like performances, from Kanye West's whistleblowing rants, to Angelina Jolie's leaked ritual video, and finally, Heath Ledger's tragic end as the Joker. Each story shines a light on a Hollywood that looks very different from the glamorous image we're sold. A Hollywood filled with whispers of secret societies, occult rituals, sacrifices, and powers beyond imagination. Now, here's the chilling part. These are just the cases we know about. For every rumor that makes the headlines, how many more secrets remain buried in the shadows? Maybe some of these stories are just coincidences. Maybe they're just art, eccentricity, or the price of living in the spotlight. But then again, maybe not. Maybe Hollywood really is built on something far darker than most people are ready to accept. And if that's true, how many more stars will rise to fame, only to fall victim to the same forces lurking behind the curtain? One thing's for certain. The next time you see a celebrity on stage, flashing a strange symbol, singing about selling their soul, or spiraling into tragedy, you'll remember this video. Because Hollywood isn't just a dream factory. It's a place where dreams and nightmares live side by side. If this video made you think differently about Hollywood, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want to dive deeper into the hidden side of fame, the occult in music, and the secrets of the entertainment industry, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next video is going to reveal things even darker than what we uncovered today. Until next time, stay curious, stay awake, and remember, in Hollywood, not everything is what it seems.